Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over how I was able to make around $500 within a minute. So if we go over here onto my TradeZella, you guys can see all my stats. You guys can see that I was in with around $6,000. I took 8%. Not a lot, but I was looking at the dollar value. Today my whole goal was just to be in and out very quickly. Market overnight gap down after moving up really high. Off of FOMC. So we gapped down around almost $10, but around $8 or $9. We gapped down, slowly pushed back up, found a base in the market during pre-market, and then had a small move up and then went to the downside. As you guys can see, I did not play the downside on this trade. I only played the upside off this candle here, and I sold it the next. This is on the 1 minute chart. Only 8%. But I just want to show you guys what I looked at, what I saw, why I took the trade, and why I hopped out so early. So if I go down here, here's the proof. You can see I bought these contracts at 1.72, 930.43, and then I sold them within the minute right away for 1.87, netting around 500. So we're going to go over to my trading view so I can show you guys what I was watching. So this is ES. These are the S&P 500 futures. So you won't see gap downs. There's no pre-market after hours on this. It's just, overnight trading session, whatever, right? So this is just a continuous chart. And you guys can see here futures. Yesterday, this was that FOMC action. You guys will see right here. This is that FOMC action, and this is the move we had afterwards into after hours. And then this morning, you guys could see we had this move down. This insane move down, just knifing down, before we found some sort of support around this 3,700 area. Okay, you guys can see the stock came down here. Buyer stepped in multiple times, took it back up, and pre-market we came back to retest it. And this is where I took my trade. Obviously, in hindsight, it would have been better to play the breakdown, maybe the retest here, but after seeing this gap down, so going into tomorrow, today would have been a risk on day for me. Meaning I would have been sizing up heavier, but there was a reason for that. We had this FOMC pump, right? I wanted these futures to hold these levels around here, so when market opened up, it would hit some sort of resistance, and I was shorted down to the base of that FOMC, right? So that's what my plan was. That's where I would have been risk on, because it would have been really good risk to reward to short up here rather than short down here, even lower than yesterday's highs, right? So remember, sizing up and position size all based on your risk. How much are you risking losing compared to how much are you risking making, right? I like to short tops and buy bottoms, right? That's just my thing. I don't like to short bottoms and then get caught in a bounce, or buy the top and then get caught in a downside move, right? So that's why my logic going into open was, hey, there's a support level. Unless we break, I want to play the upside. I want to catch a move. I want to catch a move to the upside. And that's what my plan was. So this is on the 15-minute chart here. You guys can see I was holding the support around that 3,700 area, right around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto the 1 minute chart and show you guys exactly what I was watching. So I'm going to go on to open around 9:30, and this was right at open. First candle of the day, we were opening up right above support, right above, and this is where I was like, okay, there's a good chance we're opening up at demand, or we're opening up at support. Market's going to open, buyers are most likely going to step in at this area and send it a little higher, and my price target was this prior high right here. All right, so let me actually draw that as a horizontal line. This was my price target. Actually, it wasn't even that. It was this right here. This was the level I was watching. This previous dip it had before it consolidated, rejected, and continued down. So I was targeting a 16-point upside, and my stop loss, I entered around right here. So I had a 4-point downside for a 16-point upside, around a 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Telling me, okay, very low risk for high probable upside. Obviously, it didn't get to this point. So my entry was right as it dipped into my zone. I went long here. And then once I saw this inverse hammer, almost, it's not an inverse hammer, it's mostly a doji, but I saw buyer stepped in, I knew we would continue a little bit higher. And since it was, very weird morning, since we gapped down, I didn't know where the market was heading, so I didn't really have a really good plan going into this open. I just knew my risk, I knew my entry, and I knew my target was up here. Now, what started to happen was as buyers stepped in on this candle, I was in, and I started selling here. The second I saw that where we previously rejected from, right? This pre-market candle where we previously rejected from, right? We were starting to wick from that area. We started wicking from this area over here. So now that was a good enough sign for me. Hey, I'm in this play. I'm green right now. I'm up. I was up around 10%. I market sold and I got 8%. I was up a good amount. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my profits here because it looks like it's going to come back and retest this demand. And that's where I would re-enter and replay the, to the upside. Obviously, when it came down here, I did not play the demand zone because once this candle closed, I actually switched on back to the 15-minute, and I wanted to see the 15-minute candle. I wanted to see the 15-minute candle actually close before I took another trade. And when it closed, it broke that demand. I was pretty much done here. I'm like, okay, it's a little extended from my demand. I'm not going to wait for the retest. I'm already up 500 on the day. Might as well call it and come back in the afternoon. I came back in the afternoon, and I traded, but this was mainly my main trade of the day where I just hopped in and out. Less than a minute. You can't ever complain about making $500 in less than a minute. So that's just my thought process behind it and why I stopped trading after. After that, I was just like, hey, and let me just give you guys a little quick, let me just say something really quickly. When you guys are you trading for money or are you trading for freedom, right? Do you want to be sitting at your screen all day from 9 to 4? Because if that's the case, you might as well work a 9 to 5, right? It's the same thing. You'll get double the money if you really work. The goal of trading is to be in and out as fast as possible. That's what she said. And just be able to, trade according to your time. You don't want to be a slave to these screens. You don't want to be a slave to the market. You want to be able to trade, make your money, and then fuck off and do whatever you want for the rest of the day. Okay? So that's why I was taking my profit early, less than a minute. I was done for the day. And then I went about my day, and then, my friend was over, and then we went to Topgolf and stuff like that, We got to enjoy the beautiful weather, right? That's the whole goal of this. And if that's not your goal in trading is if you can make money in less than a minute and not have to work a 9 to 5, would you? You would, right? So when you're trading and next time you're green right off open, you have a swing that hits or you get a nice scalp off open. Remember these words that I just said? Just remember, hey, call it a day. You made money. You hit your goal. Just go out for a day. Obviously, it was a slow day for me. I took that $500 and then another trade after. But it's all that matters. That's what you want to do. So, and this was alerted in my premium chat room where I would go live every day. I hop on voice. If you guys want to join the waitlist for that, I'll leave that in the description. If you guys have any questions, comment them below. DM me, tweet me, comment them, and I'll make sure to get back to them. And thank you guys for 8,000 subscribers. I hope you guys are liking the daily videos. I know they're a little bit all over the place sometimes, but as long as you guys get some information out of it, that's all that matters. All right? Love you guys. Peace out.